Fossils are the evidence of organisms from Earth's past. When a plant or animal dies, it decomposes. Bacteria breaks down its tissue, and over a period of months or years, the tissue disintegrates. But sometimes animal or plant remains are protected from the elements and bacteria that would normally break them down. When this happens, traces of fleshy parts of the organism may be preserved as a fossil. Fossils can be formed in many different ways. Certain parts of an organism, such as teeth, bones, or shells, can be preserved for millions of years. Fossils can also be formed when minerals seep into the pores of a slowly decaying shell or bone and replace the organism's cell with mineral material. Ancient wood preserved in this way is called petrified wood, which is actually stone. An organism preserved this way does not continue to decay. Two other kinds of fossils are molds and casts. A mold is formed when acids dissolve a bone, tooth, or shell and leave an imprint or mold of the object in sediment. You can create a mold by pushing a seashell into wet sand. If the sand hardened over time, the impression of the shell would be preserved as a mold. Skeletons of ancient sea creatures form molds in sandstone. A cast is formed when sand or minerals fill a cavity-shaped mold over time and then harden to form a replica of the original organism. You can create a cast by pouring plaster into an impression of a seashell in the sand. You can see that you have some pictures here. Sometimes the entire animal is preserved as a fossil. For example, scientists have discovered ancient insects trapped in tree resin. Insects were easily caught and entombed in the sticky resin, which eventually hardened into clear rock-like substances called amber. Sediment covered the amber and buried it in the ground. Over time, erosion brought the amber to the surface for a lucky person to find. The oldest amber fossil ever found is more likely than 300 million years old. Tar is another substance that, like resin, fossilizes animals. Tar would bubble up from beneath the surface of the earth and create pools. Animals would fall into these pools and become trapped. The La Brea tar pits are found in modern-day California and have provided preserved remains of various animals. In rare cases, freezing can also preserve an entire organism. Woolly mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, and musk oxen are animals that have been discovered as frozen fossils. Another method of preserving fossils is mummification. Mummification involves the air drying of soft tissues, such as muscles and tendons, before the organism is buried. Fossils can also include tracks, burrows, borings, nests, or any other preserved indications of the activities of an organism. Even an organism species, or solid waste, can become fossilized, which provides more important information about diet and the size of the animals that produced it. The fossilized remains of microorganisms and organisms with skeletons or shells are abundant. Even fossilized bones and teeth of dinosaurs and sharks are more common than you may realize. The next time you visit a beach, don't just look for shells. Look for the fossil of a shell and a piece of a sandy rock. You might be surprised at what you find.